So, I decided I'm going to do a Tumblr question video because I have a lot of questions that I haven't answered, and I'm going to just hop on into it. Hey Tati, I'll be 18 in a month. I'm starting university in September. I'm a bigger girl, and I've become pretty confident with my body, but I'm afraid that the new people I'll be going to school with, upon first seeing me, bitch, you're size 14. No tea right now. I'm not trying to come for nobody, but I'm sorry, but y'all size 14, 12s be killing me. Y'all stay fucking worried about, like, I guess, like, that's a different, see, that's the thing. When you're, like, between skinny and, I guess, death fat, you might be feeling, like, way more pressure to lose weight because I feel like it might be a smaller number, I guess. And so you're like, if I only lost, like, 20, 30 pounds, then I would be in this kind of bracket and I would look like this. As a size 22, 24 person, I really just, like, I'm not really hateful against anyone who's, like, a smaller fat than me because that's insane. But I think that if you're size, like, 12, 14, 16, like, even 18, you're more straight size than you probably fucking think. A lot of the girls who are smaller than me that ask me where to find clothes, I'm like, are you kidding? Like, if I was a size fucking 14, 16, 18, bitch, my fucking wardrobe would be popping. There's so much shit online. Like, really, I can't be the only one that goes to Google and types in plus size fashion and just gets lost. I cannot be the only one because as much shit as I see on Etsy, as much shit as I see on eBay that's in those sizes, it really just be making me go crazy whenever somebody smaller than me is just like, where do you find clothes? It's so hard for me to find clothes. I'm like, really? Cause I just got a computer, you know what I mean? Like, I really, like, I don't have a car. I'm not driving to these plus size boutiques. As a size 22, 24, I know that, you know, people, like, they just really, they call me fat and, like, I'm fat for sure. But I feel like, you know, if you're in a smaller group of, or category of fatness, you know, you definitely have more privileges than someone who's bigger. So when you say, oh, I'm a size 14 and I'm scared to go to college, it's like when I was a fucking size 20, I was like going to college for the first time and I was like not even tripping about it, you know? I guess, like, the thing is, I have a different, my relationship with my body comes from, you know, just people around me, like, treating me like shit, and unfortunately, like, years of just feeling like shit and feeling worthless to finally feel like I wasn't. And it wasn't, like, ridicule from, like, strangers. It was, like, ridicule from my family. It was ridicule from, you know, people that I was, you know, around, my friends, people that I chose to keep company with, who are just very, like, anti-acceptance of body as long as, you know, you weren't thin. And I had a lot of friends who were constantly, you know, on health kicks that really just bothered me because a lot of them were, you know, triggering as fuck because, you know, just because someone's losing weight doesn't mean it's you know, it's what's good for you. But a lot of times, you know, a lot of people that were encouraging me to lose weight like them, they were doing things to lose weight that I would never ever do. And it just really bothered me that, you know, they would look down on me when in reality it's like, you know, I'm not living my life in an unhealthy way. Even if I was, fuck you. But, like, for someone to be doing unhealthy things to lose weight, to be chastising me, it really fucked with me because it made me feel like, you know, should I be, you know, starving myself? Should I be taking diet pills? You know, like, should I be doing this and that? And even my mother, you know, even my mother was taking diet pills at one point in time. And I remember, like, I was really broke. Honestly, like, I'm not even sure how I afforded them. I think, like, I got money from my dad. I think I, like, borrowed money. And I bought these diet pills. And I was like, I didn't want to tell anybody, so I was taking them, and I remember telling my best friend, I was like, in 3 months I'm gonna look so good, and she was like, what do you mean? And I was like, just wait, and I was like, I never told her that I bought diet pills, you know. I kept them in my desk in my apartment when I lived in Boston when I first started college, and I was just like, I was taking them for a little while, and I didn't lose any weight, and I just, like, felt so bad, and I ended up throwing away more than half of the bottle because I just felt like it was a waste of time, and I just didn't feel good when I took them. And, you know, I think that was, like, a big wake up to me, like, when I really, like, went out of my way to buy something to put in my body, like to change it. Because I know someone else asked a question like, what really got you on the path? And I think like when I really, you know, started to think about what I was doing to myself, because a lot of people don't tell fat people who are trying to lose weight that what they're doing to lose weight is bad, especially if they're losing weight. Often people will tell you, you know, if you're not losing enough weight, no matter how unhealthy it is that what you're doing to lose weight, they'll tell you that it's a good thing, like good job. And, you know, even fat people who are starving, you know, I think a couple months ago, you know, I was like, I didn't have a lot of money and I was losing weight and people were constantly congratulating me and I was just really annoyed by it. But because our culture is so anti-fat and pro-thin at any cost, it's really hard to understand as someone who might not be fat or might not be of size. It's propaganda. It's honestly hate speech, to be honest with you. But, you know, people don't like to talk about it because everyone's convinced that fat shame will end when fat people stop existing, as if that will ever happen. And it's just very unfortunate because, you know, there are children who grew up in this climate and they grow up thinking their bodies are wrong from just day one. And when you think your body is wrong, you try to disassociate from it. You hurt it, you cut it up, you do things to your body and you treat your body in a way that is not a way you would treat your body if you cared for it, if you didn't think that it was wrong. So when we tell children and when we tell ourselves that our bodies are wrong, it enforces that they are not important, they are not worthy of caring for, and so you do not care for them. And that's worse than being fat. Honestly, it's worse than being fat. You know, hating yourself to the point where you're harming yourself. You know, that's worse than being fat. That's worse than being unattractive, because now you're taking away from yourself. Now you're minimizing yourself to fit in the eyes of someone else. And that's the thing, you know, no matter what, like people who are very thin, I know that they get bullied and discriminated against. And I'm sorry for that. I'm sorry for anyone of size that ever did that to you. That's unfortunate. That is not okay. And I want to apologize on behalf of them. But understand that, you know, thinspo and fitspo, those things are geared towards you changing your body for some sort of societal, you know, bliss, some sort of, and I wanted to talk about fitspo and thinspo. And listen, I think the thing that bothers people the most is the fact that the spo part, you know, for some reason, some people just can't wrap around their minds around the fact that fat spo doesn't mean pro get fat. It just means fat people are worthy of respect. And I think that some people have a problem with that because they don't think their own bodies are worthy of respect. So why would they respect anyone else's? You get what I'm saying? You know, a lot of these people are starving themselves, they're hurting themselves, and they're treating themselves like they don't exist. Like they're treating themselves like they will only exist when they are not the way they are. If you're not fully existing as yourself, how the fuck can I trust you to say some shit about me and actually believe it? You know what I mean? These people are people that are fucked up. You know, I hate to say this, but it's true. A lot of the people on those tags, even the people on the fatspo tags, are fucked up. We're a lot fucked up. But I think the thing is, we're fucked up in a way that makes us want to share ourselves so that we can be unfucked up, so that we can kind of put ourselves out there. And I think, unfortunately, thinspo and fitspo, you want people to hide themselves until they look like what you're promoting. And I think that's the biggest problem. You know, it would be one thing if thinspo was like promoting that thin is, you know, happy and healthy and good. And I think if you were showing thin people and just thin people and not celebrating thigh gaps that most people can't have because their body's just not set up that way, or celebrating stomachs that are not realistic for everyone's body shape, even if they did lose 100 or 200 pounds, I think the thing is, you know, it's not only upholding, you know, beauty privilege, it's also upholding white beauty privilege. You know, thin white women are all in thinspo. It's very rare that you see a woman of color. Fuck, I'm just supposed to be answering questions, you see? Someone was asking me where I got my bathing suit, and it's from Torrid. What is one of your happiest memories that you feel contributes to the person you are today. And I think one of my happiest memories, probably when I mean, it's a couple of them, but I think that, like, the ones that stick out are, like, when I meet people from the internet, and, like, we just get along so well because they kind of, like, know me, and in a way they feel like I know them, and, you know, in a way we, like, find out how similar we are. And I think that's what makes me, like, the happiest, is that knowing that when I'm talking about things or I'm bitching about things, that it's not just that it's kind of like other people see and hear and listen and feel exactly the way I feel. And it's kind of amazing, because I guess sometimes we all feel, like, really just small and really, like, undeserving of, you know, happiness and just, you know, just doing anything. And it's like, you know, just talking is something, and I think we forget that. When you were younger, did your parents or teachers make fun of your weight, and if so, how did you deal with it? Yes. I said in my It Gets Fatter video, you know, I talked about my family and fatness, but, you know, I think that the best thing that happened to me was the fact that I was in foster care and that I didn't have to be subjected to my mom. I think my mom suffers from anorexia, and she is recovering, but I think she's really easily, you know, but she's also really into yo-yo dieting. And while I think my mom is in recovery, I do know that, you know, at any given time she can just kind of stop eating and just lose a lot of weight. And it's never so much weight that I think she's going to die or that I'm concerned for her. But it yo-yos in such a way that it's like, you know, I can go a couple of months and not see her, and, you know, she's really, really thin, and then I can come back and she's put on weight because she's been depressed. So it's a lot. But, you know, I think she kind of, unfortunately, because her weight is so easily shifted by her moods, that she always thought that, you know, I was just lazy and I was just, you know, just stealing food. And I was stealing food, but, like, I think she just thought that, you know, my fatness could be cured by her being mean or by her being concerned for me. Because at the end of the day, you know, your children, you know, if you're the parent of a fat child, recognize the fact that this child did not become fat overnight. Recognize the fact that, you know, if it is the diet that you're feeding your child, that you need to take fucking responsibility. Because I think that's the thing. Like, I think my mom's idea of a diet, it wasn't like, my mom had disordered thinking and eating. Like, my mom doesn't eat like she's supposed to. So even though she would cook big meals, she would cook big meals and, like, let me have as much as I wanted, but then would want to shame me for eating a lot of food. And it was just, like, a really mixed up thing. Like, when I was young, I ate a lot, and, like, I was never chastised for it. And I was always, like, bigger. But when I started to be so big that my mom had a harder time buying clothes for me, that's when she started to shame me. And I think that's when I realized that, you know, being fat was, like, not good. And I would try to starve myself, and I would try to, you know, not eat for a long time, or just try to see how long I could go with just drinking water. And I'm really happy that those things only, like, affected me for a few years, like, that I didn't carry that into my adult life. I'm really just happy that I had a revolution, you know, in myself. And I really attribute that to, you know, once I was in foster care when I was 13, like, once I officially went in, that's really when I changed, I feel. Because I feel like before then I was really just, you know, going through the motions. Like, I had friends, but I just didn't want to deal with it. And, like, I kind of had no choice but to put on a fake front, you know, because I was going through so much shit that, you know, I really just got sick of it. And I was just like, this is me, you know, like, I'm going to be moody, I'm going to be irrational, like, I'm a survivor. Like, that's what you have to think. You have to think about it like that. Like, you survived so much. Like, if people are, like, against you or treating you, like, really bad, then you're surviving it. Like, by every day being alive and, like, being able to endure, like, you're surviving it. And it might not feel like it at first. Like, it really might just feel like, what the fuck? Like, these people are terrible to me. These people treat me terribly. And that could be really true. And I hate to say this, but I haven't talked to my mom in, like, a year. And, like, I don't really feel bad about it because I know that she's kind of not a good person for me to really talk to. And there's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes we get fucked up by watching movies and stuff that tell us, oh, your family, cling to your family. But it's like, sometimes your family's fucking horrible. Like, you know, and I think sometimes we fuck with our family for so long that, like, we forget that, like, they're terrible to us and they treat us badly. And it really sucks because there's so many people I know out there that are great people and they're always putting out a front because, like, when they go home, they have to deal with all this shit. And, you know, if you're able to kind of go to a friend's house, do that. If you're able to kind of, you know, leave and stay with another family member who treats you better, do that. You know, if there's any way that you can get out, do that. Because trying to stay, trying to make it work out, that's insane. You're the child. If you're living in an environment that's not good, that's not helping you nurture anything in your life, if you're not able to kind of, like, come out of this shit every day, and, you know, if it's just prevalent in your life that this is really bad and that this is not helping you, then you really need to say something and you really need to get the fuck out of there. And I understand, you know, how some people can't get out of where they're at, but in so much of a big way, leaving my mom, like, really just helped me. And even though, like, it was a fucked up way that I left my mom, you know, not living with my mom really was a good thing for me, because I noticed early on that she had a disorder and that she was, you know, very triggering to me because I didn't hate my body. I think my mom grew up, you know, she was conventionally pretty, like, she had a pretty face and she had a very thin body, like, her whole life. And I think when she got older, she realized that when she was depressed, she could eat a lot, gain weight, and then as soon as her mood picked up, she was able to lose the weight just like that. And it's like, you know, growing up with a mother who can do that, that's fucking insane, because I couldn't do no shit like that. You know, I'm fat for life, you know, like, I knew I was fat for life. I have no desire to lose weight because I fucking have no desire to lose weight. That's the other thing. You don't need to fucking qualify your weight loss or not. Fuck anyone who thinks that, you know, like, fuck anyone who thinks you have to give a reason why you want to stay fat. Just because. Like, fuck, dude. And, like, people get so upset. And you want to know why people get so upset? People get so upset because that's what they make their whole life about. Because, that's what I was talking about, the mania of weight loss. Once you decide to lose weight, and I was talking about this with Danielle, once you decide to lose weight, you think everything in your kitchen is bad, or you think of it, you assign value to it. You know, you look at everything in your kitchen, you're like, oh, if I eat this, then I can't do this. Oh, if I eat this, I have to do this when I sit ups. And, you know, you start to go crazy. And some people, like, you know, you stick with it, and I feel bad for them because, you know, some people, you stick with your weight loss for so long that you think that you're amazing. You think that you did something so great, because people conflate it to that. People think that weight loss is, like, a big fucking deal. Like, it's some big fucking deal. And I'm not trying to shit on anyone who, like, worked out for 7 days a week, but that's just not my life. That's not realistic for me. And the fact that, like, someone who works out in a gym for 7 days a week and that's all they do, they work on their outside, who gives a fuck on who they are, they get a fucking gold star, whereas I'm just, you know, trucking along, trying to be a decent human being to other people, trying to give back to my community, things like that. I'm still a fat fuck, and, like, people still judge me on that. And when I go places, people judge me like, oh, I'm an oaf, oh, I'm lazy, oh, I'm, for some reason, mooching off the system. Like, people look at me and they assign value to me based on what I look like. And, you know, that's like kind of why I'm like, fuck you for, you know, congratulating someone on weight loss, because, like, when it happens to me, it bothers the shit out of me. I'm just like, fuck you, dude, I look good now. Fuck you, shut up. I hate when people say, oh, you're looking really good. It's like, ugh, I look really good, you know, like, I look really good. If I lost weight, I'd still look really good, you know, like, oh, get out of here. I just hate this. I hate the people that lose weight and they think that they gain status, because they do. But they have this, like, mentality. I know so many people, oh my God, I can't even explain to you how many of my friends went on Weight Watchers and they were kind of like an asshole. And, like, I hate to say this, but, you know, they were just, like, really just, you know, oh, you know, like, I feel like everyone who does, like, a weight loss plan, they're always trying to tell you about it. They're always trying to fucking give you a fucking weight loss fucking outline and summary and shit. And it's like, but bitch, I don't care, you know? Hi, Tati. First, let me say I love you on your blog. Your videos are really inspiring, and your voice is really nice to listen to. I have a question. Do you believe people who want to lose weight can be fat accepting at the same time, or is that contradictory? It is not. Fat acceptance, alright, listen to me. Listen. Are you listening? I hope you're listening. Fat acceptance is the idea, the crazy idea, that fat people have good bodies. That when you say that person has a good body, nothing comes to mind, because a good body is everybody. That there is no value taken away by someone being fat or being disabled because of fatness, or being disabled just because they're fucking disabled and they're fat. It's also the idea that, you know, fat people do... that it's also the idea that fat people are deserving of respect, because there's so many people out there that think because you're fat, that's something that people get to make fun of you for. That's like okay, that it's okay to be like, this person is fat, ha ha ha, because fat is funny. Fat is not funny. I'm funny and I'm fat, but fat is not funny. So if you want to be involved with fat acceptance, you just have to be of the idea that fat isn't bad, and that fat is not indicative of laziness, and that fat is worthy of respect. You wanting to lose weight has zero to do with the fucking movement. Fat acceptance is going to live on no matter, every fucking person involved is thin, because it means that when there's someone who is not thin around, it does not mean that they get to be devalued. So it's really fucked up that people can't accept that. A lot of these causes are not just for the people that they affect. They're especially needing of allies who do not fit the group, allies who are not oppressed, who can kind of, you know, speak to other people in their group when someone else is listening and they're butting in. You get what I'm saying here? So that's why it's helpful when people of color have white allies who know when to speak and when to be quiet. We're not looking for a white person to say, but hey, not all white people are like that, because we're not looking for that shit. That's when you need to be quiet. But when somebody white comes out of nowhere and says some racist shit, y'all could talk then. But a lot of times, white people don't want to talk then. You notice that? White people don't really want to talk when other white people are talking about racism. But they always want to talk when people of color are talking about racism. Interesting. Marf, I have to get an HIV test, but I'm scared. I'm going to get slut-shamed to death. Also, I kind of don't want to know. What should I do? Girl, get your fucking test. If you've been fucking people, I don't know why you would think you'd be slut-shamed. If anything, getting an HIV test is the shit. Why are you a slut because you want to know your fucking sexual health status? That's insane. That is insane. Please, go get tested. Everyone out there, go get tested. There's nothing slutty about getting tested. There's really nothing negative about that. And if someone has something negative to say, look at them and say, you're mad because I'm in charge of my sexual health? Because that's insane. Because that shit just doesn't make any sense. You know, you should. You should. Why wouldn't you want to know? I mean, fuck. Not knowing is really dangerous. You know, I'm not trying to fucking shame you right now for not wanting to go, but damn. You know, if you have the opportunity to go and get it done, I would. Someone was asking me yesterday if it was crazy that, you know, they tell their boyfriend to fuck off because he wanted her to, get her pubes cut. Like, he wanted her to, like, shave her pussy. And she was saying how it was, you know, just very indicative of the porn culture that we grow up in. And I think, you know, in some ways, you know, I like to shave my pussy from time to time, but I have to be in the mood for it. You know, I'm not going to just be shaving it just because, you know, I typically, like, it's got, like, I don't want to say special occasion. I don't want to say special occasion, but I'll say that, you know, I recently shaved it and I didn't do all of it. Like, I did like a fade and an edge up, but like I really didn't give a fuck because I'm not really, you know, like, anyways, I feel you. I feel you on not wanting to shave your pussy because you just don't fucking want to. I feel you on not wanting to for other reasons that you've explained, you know, about the porn industry being very prevalent in your relationships, especially sexually. But I think, you know, you gotta tell your partner that shit. You gotta let his ass know, you know, and not feel bad about it. You know, I get wanting to be in a relationship and wanting to be not perfect, but be agreeable. You know what I mean? Just be like, oh, I'm open to that. Wanting to be open, you know. But when someone wants you to kind of change the way that your body naturally does something, is kind of ridiculous. You know, you shave your pussy, then you gotta keep on shaving it for the duration of the fucking relationship, and that's kind of insane. Because what if you don't fucking want to? Which it sounds like you don't. So tell him to fucking swerve. Do you personally object to weight loss? I don't object to anything. I think everything in moderation, especially moderation, but I think you know, if you want to lose weight, then that's up to you. I'm just personally not at that point in my life right now. Like, I'm over it. And that, like, that scares people, because people are just like, you're a fat girl. Like, why would you not want to lose weight? Like, why isn't your mind on weight loss all the time? Oh my God, my mind is on weight loss all the time, and I'm not even as much as you. So, like, why don't you care about yourself? Oh my God. Like, that's what I just hear, like, whenever people worry about other people losing weight. I try not to tie my emotions to anyone else's body. I know people do that to me all the time, because I am, you know, I am fat, and I've showed you guys my body, and I think, you know, people who identify with my body kind of place value on me. And, you know, if I lose weight, then, you know, they're like, oh my God, if you're losing weight, I should lose weight because I am the same size as you. Or I used to feel the same way as you about body acceptance, and now you obviously don't because you're losing weight, when that's not even the same thing. You know, I think that, you know, unfortunately, because I know that, I know some girls have said to me that whenever, like, fat actresses or fat actors gain or lose weight, they get really upset because they're like, oh, another one gone, you know? And I mean, that's the thing, like, when you're visible and fat, like, people place value on you. People like Beth Ditto. Think about how many people would be so sad if Beth Ditto lost weight, honestly. And that's the fucked up thing. Like, she has body autonomy. Like, if she ever lost weight for whatever reason, the fact that people would be upset with her and would be sad and would be like, you know, obviously definitely very hateful. People get very upset when other people lose weight, and they haven't. So, but they also get upset when people gain weight. And they have, you know, if you've gained weight and someone else gains weight and you're feeling bad about yourself, for some reason people feel the need to kind of spew. But, yeah, I don't personally object to weight loss. I think if you want to lose weight, do it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care. You know, I really, like I said, I really try not to assign any value on people's bodies, when it comes to myself and when it comes to them, because I realize, you know, just like how I want to eat this cookie right now and I don't give a fuck about the consequences, I suppose, of eating this cookie, someone might be going for a jog and not really giving a fuck about losing weight or not. You know, some people do exercise to exercise, some people exercise to lose weight, some people exercise, you know, for whatever benefits that they get, and lose weight for whatever benefit that they get. But I try not to assign my beliefs on anyone. Do I get blackheads? Totally. I think we all do. All I do is I pop them like anyone else. That's it. Now, this is my friend telling you this, not me. She would always tell me lemon juice and honey. Make a paste out of it and, you know, just let it sit like between your thighs if you have dark inner thighs, or let it sit somewhere, you know, on your cheeks if you have darkness on your, like if you have, also if you have dark marks from acne or just pimples in general, you can also use that. But, you know, that's what she swears by. Someone asked me, was the decision to leave college scary? And it really wasn't, because it was like, it was honestly scary to stay in college. To be honest with you, I knew that I would be straight if I left, but if I stayed, I knew I would have to pay dumb money and take out mad loans. And the thing is, by the time I was already doing graphic design for 3 years, I was just like, this is not even what I want to do anymore. And I'm like really happy that I didn't continue with school, because I got to do so much. I got to travel, I got to meet cool people, I got to make good ass money, and I got to just do a lot of cool stuff. I was in a long distance relationship. He broke up with me because of college. She put the quotes. A few weeks after the breakup, I saw some a few weeks after the breakup, I'm sorry. A few weeks after the breakup, I saw some flirty comments he posted on some girl's wall, and his ex-girlfriend constantly telling him to text her, like, why is it so easy for some people to get over a relationship? My ex was going through a loss recently, and I told him that I'm here for him because I know he'd do the same, and he just said, E-H-H. I'm just here avoiding people and being lonely. Boo-boo, you need to just leave that man's alone, girl, and you need to just throw yourself into something else, you know? It's obvious that you have a lot of time to really just, you know, avoid people and be lonely. So why not just go try to find some cool shit to do? That's what I do. I go on Craigslist and I go under like the events and shit. There's usually cool shit popping off in your city, cool ass parties that people put up. If you're single and you live in a poppin' city, go the fuck out. Even if you don't, like, try to make wherever the fuck is available to you a poppin' ass spot. If you know of a cool club, invite some cool people to go out with you. Maybe start a group. I don't fucking know. Like, you just really gotta be a self-starter in this situation. No one's gonna come to you. And even if they do, they might not be what you want. So you kind of have to create the space that you need and then thrive in it. And find other people to fill it with. Anyways, take care. I love you guys. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.